No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Melodrama upon melodrama!
This is utter, shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
He was miles off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all the
Plenty of
time.
time, no problem.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast. What are we in? Week 7, week 6.
I think it's 7, but I only know that because I'm glued to the head-to-head fantasy week by week. That's all that's kept me going at the moment now, because the real league, not enjoying it. Even normal fantasy football, not enjoying that either. It's all going terrible.
Yeah, it's mad how quickly you can come out of touch, isn't it? With football.
Oh yeah. Every decision I've made in fantasy in my head has made total sense. But then as the game week goes on, it's just like, well, who the hell is this guy scoring? I've never heard of him.
Yeah, that's it. And we do a podcast on football every week. We have done for years, and we
even look at all the transfers, and still there's just players that just appear out of thin air.
Yeah, it's the curse of the casual fan, because that's where it used to be that way. Will, it used to be fantasy football was the game of the casual fan.
Yeah,
because you weren't going to grassroots games. You were sitting at home, not even watching the Premier League games. You're looking at your phone screen or your laptop screen back in the day, looking at the points they might have accumulated. Now there's people who really know their stuff playing this game. It's a hugely popular game, and we've been left behind once again.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. It's a strange season so far, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. Maybe, again, it feels like sometimes this is us projecting, but sometimes it does feel like I'm thinking things like, I just don't think anyone's enjoying this.
Do you think the world is getting worse, or is my life getting worse?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody on earth is enjoying anything. I think everyone's miserable.
We're all saying it. We're all saying, who has time for the Premier League anymore? Everyone I talk to.
Does anybody else think the sky isn't as blue as it used to be? It used to be bluer. The days were longer. The sky was bluer. I felt better. We all felt better, right? Everybody? I don't know. I think it's what? They've won 6 last 7, Man City. I'm not trying to take anything away from Liverpool. And before COVID happened, they had it kind of wrapped up. And when they came back, even though everybody's all over the place, including Liverpool, they were so far ahead, there was no clawing it back. But, when Man City tend to make their run, that's kind of when it all ended, end of April. End of March, yeah. I guess, mid-March. Just saying, Will, it could have been 8. It could have been 8. Maybe it's just the end of that great team. It's just not quite as good as they were. That said, they won 3-2, and I feel like they always have these games where they're like, oh, they're 1-0 down. Oh, they're 1-1. Oh, they're 2-1 down. And every other team would not get the goal back. Not only would they get the equalizer, they get the winner, and it's like, well, then it doesn't mean anything. They may as well have won 3-0. I know goal difference, but they are still there. As bad as they're playing, the players are missing. They are still there. But I know Liverpool are top, and I think it's one of, if we had any fans who wrote in, they'd be saying, "Stop talking about how bad Liverpool are. You're professional player haters when it comes to Liverpool." But they don't seem like they're going to run away with it either. Arsenal, everyone hates Arsenal this year. They've become Stoke, and they're the bad guys because we're sick of Man City as the bad guys, because the bad guy has to lose for it to be a fun bad guy. There's no point in having a bad guy that always wins.
You know what? I think you might have stumbled on the issue with the Premier League this year that we're having, where, like you said, the second place team are the bad guys, which means no one cares about anything.
I think Arsenal are third. Man City are second. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. I think it's just all these kind of things feel like they're not drastically changing, but slowly drifting, beyond a point that I'm going to care anymore.
Yeah.
It is nice to have Man United as a constant in this kind of limbo of when are we going to be good again? And the answer is no time soon.
Yeah, it's insane how the cycle genuinely has happened maybe 8-9 times in the last 10 years, almost like to the month with every manager. It's the exact same format, same flagpole events along the way. We're now in the win 3 games era of Ten Hag, and he drew 2 of them and lost 1, which is unfound territory. I don't know what that means.
He needed to win one of them. He definitely needed to win one of them.
How is he not gone? You were going to give him Villa, give him Porto. Okay, fucked both of them, but look.
Well, one thing I never thought I'd see, genuinely, not even kind of like I never thought I'd see today. I genuinely never thought I'd see nostalgia merchants peddling clips of Ralph Ragnick.
Oh, stop. I know.
I thought, well, he was just, that was a weird thing. He was going to be interim, and then he wasn't even a manager or whatever. Maybe it was the run with Austria at the Euros, but I forget what the newspaper was. I'm not even trying to be like smart. I don't even know what it was, but it was like the 6 targets that Ralph Ragnick outlined that I know I'd missed out on. It was like, like you are kind of implying that like they let him down. You know, they let Ralph down. The club did, and
only
the
we backed the manager. Yeah,
and it sells. You know, not that I clicked into the article, but you know, I saw it and I was like, damn, like that's definitely working. You know, just maybe Ralph was right.
Yeah, but this is the thing is I was thinking that because I saw that same article and I get people what they're saying is in like, oh, if they only had backed him, you know, if the board at the time had listened.
Yeah,
put yourself in one of the Glazers. Shoes, Cottle, or so whoever was in charge of transfers at the time.
Oh, Joel Glazer? Can I be Joel Glazer?
You could be Joel. Yeah.
Yes, I got the sweet ponytail.
So imagine a fella who you employ is going out weekly after losing games and going, it's just rotten all the way up to the top. We need to take everyone out of this club and fire them into the sun. You're not going to give him money to buy players. You're going to wait until he's gone.
Yeah, especially if you are making money in the meantime.
Yeah, you're like, you don't know what you're talking about, idiot.
Things are going swimmingly for me. I don't know about you, Ralph, but I mean, you checked the dividends recently, they're going well.
Funny as well, because I think the Ollie nostalgia has reached a new level as well at the moment where everyone who thought he was a gobshite and like, you know, would put him down for laughing at the side of the pitch, just like, yeah, but he got them 2nd and 3rd, and my God, he did it on a shoestring budget and all this. It's like, what are you talking about? They were all bad.
Yeah, Ollie is now like one step below Ferguson at this point, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
I think it's genuinely got that level of nostalgia where it's just like he was basically as good as any manager today. And the longer this kind of period goes on of we say unsuccessfulness as they win like a cup every other year, if not every year. This like, you know, Premier League drought goes on. Yeah. That he gets better and better to the point where now Ralph is at that level of Ollie. Like, yeah, incompetent idiot, but we should have listened to some of the stuff he said. You know, so it's crazy because I didn't think this could happen. I didn't think with like televised, every game and televised, every interview being recorded that people would just willingly forget these things. But maybe that's the word there. They're willingly forgetting us. Not actually forgetting us. They're just like, no, things were better than the past. Like we were saying, like, things used to be better. The sky used to be bluer. The grass used to be greener. On both sides, you know.
Because it's funny, I was looking at I saw someone had shared some of Mikel Arteta's results and how he had done in his first 3 seasons. Yeah. Remember, he was breaking all those records. We always mentioned the worst starts ever and stuff.
Yeah, every 3 seasons in a row, it was like the worst season since last season, whatever the fuck.
And I think he finished 8th twice.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like, people are sharing this, like, just give Erik Ten Hag more time. No, because he's bought all these players as well. This is literally his Ajax team. This is as good as it's going to get.
Yeah, to be fair, like, Arteta came in and he wasn't given the money. Like, he was given money the last couple of years for sure. He spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
But he did kind of earn it, but like, you know, get rid of Aubameyang, and that proven to be a good decision. Like, all right, maybe this guy knows what he's doing. If he'd been given all that money at the start and finished 8th and then 7th, where the fuck, you know, then it would be like, all right, this guy's that maybe doesn't know what he's doing. You know, but
and also maybe we don't too for buying all those players.
and maybe somebody else at fault, but mainly the manager.
I will say, if I was on the Man United board, I would probably have hit the big red button to sack Ten Hag the moment he started Maguire and Evans in his must-win game and benched the two players who he had at Ajax who were playing at the back because they're a terrible partnership.
Yeah, imagine that podcast. You're on the Man United board. I'm on the Arsenal board.
I'm telling you.
We just share secrets all the time. Yeah, no, he's on his fourth game of 3 games to win it. I mean, when the entire board showed up for the game against Aston Villa.
Yeah, an away game as well. It's not like they were just happened to be there.
No, they didn't swap their away tickets for the posh seats. They weren't like, you know what, usually I'm with the ultras, but today I'm going to go up to the board just because it's a special day. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of celebrated as a win by some, though. Well, that's the thing, you know.
Oh, it is the worst possible result, I think, for a board that's trying to sack the manager, because it's like a 0-0, had some good chances, but Aston Villa are doing well as well.
Yeah.
So it does feel like, well, you can't sack him now. You can't sack him when he was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, it must have been tough for Aston Villa to go from the Champions League to then face the 14th team in the Premier League. Like, the home and drum of the Premier League, got to play Man United, I guess, Hard to get up for that one.
The European hangover, because people talk about, like, the likes of Aston Villa, they might struggle this season with the extra games, that maybe their squad's not up to it. It's not that. It's when you're beating Bayern Munich. How the hell are you going to go back to just playing a league that you're not going to win, that you've no interest in, really?
Well, that's it, because every win in the Champions League is like winning something. And that's not trying to be like mean to anyone. It's the same for Arsenal. You win a big game away in Portugal or in fucking Azerbaijan, doesn't matter. Like, that's insane atmosphere. I know they're actually at home against Bayern Munich, but like, to win a game like that under lights against a team that you don't see every year, it's an unbelievable buzz. And then to come back to play Man United again, and then what's worse is like a team you're now favoured to win, so they're going to be kind of defending, and you don't get to be the kind of on the counter team. We'll get out of here with a win. That'd be amazing. It's like there's actually expectation on you to win this as well. It's a totally different mindset to get up for. So it was a good game away for Ten Hag to get, but really the only good game was one that he won, which he didn't. He drew 0-0, and he looked very happy after the game to do it.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about Ollie there. That's what got him sacked, Eric. Careful what you do with your face after the game.
Yes, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, what was that game after that? He was smiling or laughing after people like, this is not enough for a Man United manager.
I think it might have been after they got hammered 5-0 by Liverpool. Might have been in Old Trafford.
Ooh.
And he was just smiling away, because it was more a smile of like, okay, I'm done here.
A grimace, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was just relief of like, they're finally going to sack me.
I can finally rest. Again, breaking news from the past, nothing has happened at the time of recording. Monday the 7th of October 2024. Erik Ten Hag still at the helm, still at the wheel. How do you think it's going to... Who do they have next, actually? I mean, international breakdown. I guess he's in the clear.
It's 2 weeks. It's a 2-week break. And then I think they might have Chelsea next. They definitely have Chelsea soon. And I do think their next set of fixtures after Chelsea is doable. It's like the like of Brentford and Leicester and Southampton and teams, maybe not Southampton, but like winnable games. It should be.
Yeah.
So it's either they keep Ten Hag and be like, right, now it's time to turn it around, or this could not be a more perfect time to get a new manager in.
Yeah. Yeah, he comes in a nice run of easy fixtures. Well, easier fixtures. I mean, they're not playing well, they're not going well, so it'll be tough to get a win. But yeah, I know what you mean. Well, nothing to report at the moment about old Erik Ten Hag. I mean, I guess he goes back to the Dutch league if he does leave Man United this year. That would probably be the natural way to go, wouldn't it? Rebuild his career that way.
I mean, it feels weird though, especially when it's like, what's he going to do? Go back to Ajax? Like, he's probably, the way the Man United career has gone, I wonder our Ajax now, like, maybe we got the best of this fella. Maybe let's not go back.
Yeah, well, it'd be tough to show your face Ajax after you took a lot of their
Paul
players, and some of them forced their way out to play with you, and now you're back like, hey, it's like, hey,
We need to buy Anthony and Martinez.
yeah. And Ajax have not been good in the last couple of years. They signed Jordan Henderson for Christ's sake. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe not Ajax, but you know, a Feyenoord or a give me another.
Go ahead, Eagles, maybe.
Go ahead, Eagles. Yeah. FC20, are they still in the first division?
I think so. They were in the Europa League. Man United drew with them. So
let me see if I can name any other Dutch teams. Feel free to jump in, Will, if you need Dutch teams.
yeah, I'm trying to think as well. Eindhoven.
Be it PSV Eindhoven.
Yeah,
Great
PSV.
shout.
That's what I think.
Yeah, PSV. I'm thinking of places in Netherlands. That's not Amsterdam. I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Damn, that's bad.
Talk amongst yourselves.
That's bad from us. I thought we'd have more than that. Who do you have? Eindhoven, Ajax, Feyenoord, Go Ahead Eagles.
Go ahead, Eagles. Yeah.
We have four.
20.
Actually, 25 of probably 20 teams, is there? Probably 20 teams, actually.
A lot of Champions League and Europa League regulars as well.
Oh, who's PSV won the treble. Ajax won the treble. Is there another Dutch team that's done really well? Anyways, whoever they are, Ten Hag is coming your way. Surely, in the next few hours, but maybe not. Maybe next year you get Ten Hag back.
He could either go the Ollie route after he left Man United and just be like, I think I've had enough of the limelight for a few years. Maybe I'll just sit back.
Yeah, and then just quietly, well, not that quietly, just wait to be asked about the Norwegian national team job and say, I'd take it if it took. No, sorry, I'm wrong about that. He was talking about the Man United job.
Yeah.
That's what
He recently said he'd go back. Yeah.
In a second, he said.
Yeah. Ollie,
Which is-
you should think about this.
He's buying into the hype. He's like,
Yeah.
maybe I am a good manager. maybe Cardiff was not fair. You know, maybe Man United was when I was really good, and we basically won the league by coming second. Or did he come second? That was Mourinho,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Third, then second, then sacked before the end of the season, I think it was.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good manager.
I tell you, he was pretty good in the league.
Yeah, so I guess he can go home and quietly wait for the nostalgia to build
Yeah.
and say, I will take two jobs.
Mm-hmm.
The Dutch national team job, or I will go back to Man United. And
In a
that's-
second.
In a second. I will leave I'll drop everything right now.
I'd never thought of that before, that like Ollie was judged pretty harshly on never ever winning a trophy and that he never will win a trophy.
Yeah.
While he was doing quite well in the league, and then Ten Hag's done terrible in the league, won trophies left and right, but also must go.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is, Will? It's like the England effect. When Roy Hodgson came in, you know, there was like this kind of end of the goal generation.
Yeah.
And it was like, everybody needs to get real, all right? Lampard's gone. Gerrard's gone. Even though they weren't really gone, they're still playing. But, you know, they're not good anymore. Terry has been stripped of the
They
captaincy.
might as well be gone. Yeah.
He's not Rooney anymore, you know? And it was like a slow kind of lowering of expectations
Yeah.
to like 2014 when they didn't get out of the group.
Mm.
People were like, yeah, look, that's what it is. Like, he still had a job after going to the World Cup, not getting out of the group, and then went to the 2016 Euros and lost to Iceland.
Yes.
And then like, wait a minute. No, that is really bad. You know, we definitely should be doing that. And then Southgate comes in and everything does is amazing. You know, despite the fact that like he's not getting the best of the players, he's not, you know, playing exciting stuff, which is before is what they would have demanded, you know. So it's all about that. It's like when Solskjaer came in, you were on the back of like Mourinho and
Van Gaal.
Van Gaal, like these European titans who won Champions Leagues and were like serial winners all their careers. And then this former Man United, you know, Ferguson pupil comes in. He doesn't know anything. He's managed Cardiff. Like, what's this guy going to do? And then he finished second and third. And it's like, he's not even winning. You know, he's a spoofer. To now, you look back and go, my God, they were in Champions League every year. That's insane, you know?
Dan James on the wing.
He made Dan James look like a serviceable Premier League winger, you know. So I think it's a lowering of expectation over the years, and yeah, that's where they're at right now. But yeah, look, what they are, 14th, 15th, 14th?
It's around there, yeah. It's
Around
around the type of place where I'm sure we're approaching record low level of like they've never been this low this far into the season.
Yeah, never after 2 international breaks have Man United accumulated this amount of points. Surely a statistic at some point because the international breaks change and yeah, I think that's probably down the road. But we've been saying that for a while. It's hard to know. Too early. Things haven't shaken out yet.
Yeah. We are rapidly approaching time to tell, though. Unfortunately, we've been coasting along on the who can tell anything.
I know, and this is the thing. I thought maybe Chelsea are good, and they played Nottingham Forest, which I think is a good litmus test.
Yeah,
because as we've covered, they have a lot of players, and as the Premier League has covered, maybe not always the legally accumulated players, but they have quality, and they can go up for games. And likes of Wood. I think Chris Wood would be a Barclays man if he'd been playing the mid to late 2000s, I think.
Do you know what? Speaking of him as well, do you know who's another player I was thinking? He might actually be one of the few players who's been a Barclays man and is still going. Is Danny Welbeck a Barclays man, Kyle?
Oh, I think because he played for Man United and Arsenal, it doesn't count.
Not allowed, yeah.
I think so. It's undefined. It's undefined. And you know what? I'm kind of coming around with the Barclays man now. I know I was kind of very much against this. Now I kind of like the concept. I think it was too popular too fast.
Yeah. And we were scared by it.
It was overwhelming. I was like, no. And maybe, you know what? Maybe I was a little bit jealous that we didn't come up with this. Because
that's
it is
true,
It was the kind of thing that it's the kind of stuff that we should be doing. And someone else did this. And not that I think they got any kind of monetary gain for it. Everyone just stole their shit. But I was very jealous of it. I think I've matured enough in the last few weeks to admit that that's what that was. So I was like, fuck, that should be our. What about the stupid shit that we say? Why aren't people taking that? But anyhow, yeah, Chelsea come up against Nottingham Forest, drew 1-1. Like I say, it can be a tough place to go. It can be a tough game for people, or it can be a hammering. It feels like it's one of the two. It can go like, yes, easy win, or oh no, not these bastards again. And in this case, it was one of those, not these bastards again. There was a big brawl during the game. Yeah,
this is probably the most interesting part of the game. Probably the weekend, really. And a lot of people might have seen this. There was a clip going around of an insight into Cole Palmer's mindset in a heightened situation like this, where it's all kicking off, where he just calmly sits on the ground and kind of rolls back like a toddler would. And he's just not paying any heed to the brawl that's happening with all of his friends, literally about 5 steps away. He's just kind of watching it from the floor. A very bizarre sight.
Man, you're describing this, Will. I'm getting some mad deja vu about something.
Oh, yeah?
Not the kind of I'm getting deja vu as in I remember something else that's like this. I do not know what it is, but I feel like we've had this exact conversation about another instance where this happened before on the podcast, where someone literally rolled back and roly-polied. Sound off in the comments if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It might be because we're recording this with our cameras off, and I think we might have done this twice in the past, so you might just think it's one of those days.
Oh, you're gaslighting me now. Very nice, Will. I know what I feel. I feel deja vu. Just like in The Matrix, where they see the cat, even though that's not deja vu, that's seeing double. Anyways.
It's funny.
What was the question?
Funny type of gaslighting to be like, it's not deja vu. You think there's something else.
Yeah. No, it's a memory.
It's not the phenomenon.
No, this isn't the Mandela effect. You're an idiot. That's all it is. You're an idiot. You just don't pay attention. That's your problem.
But yeah, that was probably the most interesting part of the brawl. Or so I thought, anyway, was that Cole Palmer clip. But then...
just on the Cole Palmer thing, do you think that was him like, I don't know what's going on here? Because there is a lot of people who are just kind of doing this thing where it's kind of implying that he's kind of thick.
He's been infantilized.
Yeah, it was like he's too stupid to miss a penalty. Rather than like, just brushing away the years of work and undoubted talent he has as well. It's like, nah, he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
Is it that the fact is like, listen, I'm Cole Palmer. This is, as we all know, Cole Palmer FC.
Yes.
If I get
confirmed.
booked here, if I get sent off, the whole year is like, with the mentality of these fucking jamooks that I play with, they will crack completely if I'm not playing. So the best thing for me to do is just remove myself from it. I think it could potentially have been a very calculated, smart move that like, well, this is the last place I need to be, of all players. Because you lose Madueke, you got Neto. You lose Neto, you got Yao Felix. There's only one Cole Palmer, and that's me. So I'm getting out of here.
I think so as well, because I've thought that from a lot of the post-match interviews people share with him, where he's kind of just like blankly not really giving anything to the interviewers, even after huge moments in his career. But I don't think it comes across like people say, like, this guy's got nothing going on up there, but I don't think it's that. I think it's just that he's so far beyond talented and intelligent when it comes to it that he's like, he expects all these things. He's a step ahead of everyone. He's like, yes, I know I scored 4 today. I don't know if you saw that clip going around, and we missed it last week. BT Sports or TNT Sports, any of those channels, they have those like cringy adverts for games where the players will like mutter something, being like, this is the week or something like that before a big game.
Yeah.
There was one going around of they were recording Cole Palmer and they needed him to do throw up 1, throw up a 2, and throw up a 3. And your man's like, just in case you score 3 goals. And Cole Palmer says, what about 4? And your man laughs and goes, yeah, go for it. Cole Palmer knew he could score 4 goals in the game months ago.
Well, he'd done it in April, I guess, hadn't he? He'd done this year.
So he's like, that's what I mean. It's just things like when he seems, distant or not caring, I think it's just that he's like, yeah, I know. I'm unbelievable.
Yeah. I saw, I mean, I don't know if this helps or hurts his case as actually way smarter than people think. But did you see the Man City, I want to say Kitman, maybe not Kitman, maybe that's being harsh. And Man City staffer was leaving after 15 years. And all like, and he put on Instagram was, everyone has Instagram these days. It's a new podcast, Instagram. We should really get on it. Anyways, he has a post on Instagram, thanks Man City for all the, the good times and the money. And then like Jack Grealish and Rodri and David Silva, like, players who've been there for the last 15 years are all like, best luck, legend, enjoy your next step in your career. And then Cole Palmer comments, bollocks chops.
Whoa.
Because he's a bald man and he has a beard and he has like kind of a bushy beard. So mutton chops on a testicle, I guess, was his nickname. Maybe only Cole Palmer used this. Again, if we were going by through that, he's actually not stupid. He's actually quite smart. Then Cole Palmer hated that man.
That's hugely insulting.
Used his dumbass persona to insult him. Like, no one's going to believe you. They all think I'm stupid. No one's going to believe you, bollocks chops. And by the way, I hate you.
So yeah, that was the what a lot of people took from the brawl. That clip. But there was a more interesting part, I think, after the game, where Enzo Maresca, the Chelsea manager, was interviewed and he was asked about it. And he was asked, well, first of all, it was very funny because he was asked, is he worried about players getting suspensions? And he pretty much says, no, we have a lot of players.
I know I only use 21, but if needs be, I can call on another 21.
He says, in that moment, I think only Nicholas was inside the pitch. This is because Nicholas Jackson came barreling down from the bench to, I think, slap the Forest defender Morato is what the allegation is. He says, in that moment, I think only Nicholas was inside the pitch. If you look, more players from the bench were outside the pitch. I don't see that kind of thing. If you ask me, I prefer when something like this happens, whether players from outside are involved or not. I like the spirit of the team. I like the spirit of our team. I don't see any problem. So he's saying, he's all about it. But this brawl, the way what had happened was Cucurella was pushed by Nico Williams, and Cucurella knocked into Maresca, which knocked Maresca to the floor. And that's what kickstarted it all, because all the Chelsea players were like, hey, you definitely can't knock over the manager. That's chaos.
Yeah.
And then this is the part that I didn't see anyone else reporting this. Maresca, he's talking about, I don't see any problems, the spirit of the team. And then he just flippantly says, someone tried to kick me too when I fell down. I was there like this and someone arrived to kick me. For sure, there are things we can do to control better, no doubt. And probably this is one of those things. But if you ask me about the team spirit, the way they're fighting together, I'm very happy. He just moves on. Who tried to kick him on the ground?
Yeah, well, it's unconfirmed, but I think the fact that he mentioned team spirit sweepingly in that, I think it's clear what he's trying to get at. He's trying to use this real or fake incident, we don't know, to maybe garner some kind of siege mentality. I mean, they're literally kicking us when we're down, guys. They want us to fail. They want this whole project to fail. They're kicking me on the ground. Everyone. This is Nottingham Forest. This is even the big guys. Everyone wants us to fail. I think it's funny that Cucurella was the one he does have quite a. I don't know. I mean, who's the least likable, Cucurella or Ben Chilwell? It's very close.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, Cucurella definitely leapfrogged Chilwell after the Euros, I think.
For English people, for sure. I thought he was great in the Euros, but I can imagine playing against him, he'd be quite niggly. I think I think Cucurella's the type of person to learn a couple of words in your language and say them. And it's innocent almost in the way that he would do it, but it would be annoying the fact that he bothered to learn it to annoy you. Like, oh, that's annoying. Even though if someone who spoke English said it, it'd be like, oh, this guy can barely speak English. But because what he's done, he's that kind of player. He'd be kicking you and he'd be saying his couple of fuck at you. I think he'd be the worst.
Can a manager ask for anything more, helpful to get a team on your side than accidentally getting knocked over by the opposing team? That would spur anyone on.
Yeah, no, 100%. But yeah, I guess Chelsea are still they're still in it. It's, as we say, early days. From what we've seen in Chelsea, do you think they have enough to make a push for the top four this year?
Very irritating that this is probably the best they've looked in the last few years, after literally a summer where it looked like they couldn't have been doing more wrong.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. And it's pretty damning on the sport as a whole, I think, that a team can operate like that in the summer and it's actually the perfect move.
Greed is good.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, actually, this is more breaking news from the past. Did you see that Man City won their first lawsuit against the Premier League today?
Oh, fuck, what?
Yeah, this isn't the charges. Do you remember the charges came out? And then Man City were like, right, we're going to sue you then for something else.
Yeah.
It was about the Premier League's rules regarding if you're state sponsored, you can't just pump money in from a sponsor that you own. Man City took the Premier League to court over that and they won today. Apparently that is unlawful to not allow that.
Oh, damn. I guess
Yeah.
they made a mistake there big time.
Yeah, so that's what I mean of it's a pretty damning on the sport where Chelsea can come in, spend insane money on locking every young talent they see up for the next 12 years so no one else can have them. And now they're playing better than ever. And at the same time, Man City are being winning in courts and courtrooms saying, ruling, yes, you can sponsor yourself. That's totally fine.
That's been going on for years, though, in different forms. Never noticed with that. That's kind of almost expected. That's, you're not cheating that way. You're not trying.
It's funny as well because one of the articles talking about that, I just saw the headline said, why the newest Man City Premier League ruling spells bad news for Everton.
That has to be satire, surely.
Apparently not. I don't know, because I think they had a lot of deals coming in, and whatever way this ruling came out, it's yes, that is fine to do that, but this one specific thing you're not allowed to do. And I think Everton or whatever that one specific thing was, I think that was their big plan.
Damn. Well, speaking of one specific thing at Everton, did you see Anthony Gordon's penalty?
I did, yes.
Should we just play the clip of the cheer?
Tarkovsky. And then Everton wouldn't have wanted to take a penalty. Gordon saved. Pickford. Listen to that roar.
Oh god, that was, I think, one of my favorite moments on the podcast is when they chased Anthony Gordon literally out of Liverpool and never come back. You know,
That was also Yerry Mina saying he'd die for Everton and then moving club, I think, a week later.
a lot of people did. A lot of people have, and more people will. I think. Yeah, that's probably the highlight of their season so far. They've had so many kind of last minute winners against them, but this was needed. You know,
Yeah.
If they had lost 1-0 to an Anthony Gordon penalty, that might be it for a lot of Everton fans. That might be, well, you know what, forget the whole thing, actually.
That's one thing too far. Yeah, you know what? I could take the last 20 years. That's really annoying.
That's really done it. So this has probably, you know, kept a lot of season ticket holders for the rest of the year. But yeah, he came out with a statement afterward and said, you know, tough loss, etc. You'll never see me not step up to take a penalty. And then like a love heart emoji. Not much you can't say, really, you know. Just leave it to Jimmy Carragher to say the rest.
A weird thing for him to get involved in, I thought.
Yeah, he's this is probably going a bit digressing a little bit, but did you see that clip of Ravel Morrison going on some podcast talking about how he loves Arsenal?
No.
You didn't see this?
No.
I feel like I'm being disrespectful here now, but you know the Man United guy with the beard?
Yes, I do know. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'm not that I think I'm better than you, but I don't know anything. He got Ravel Morrison on. He was like, you know, you're one of Man United fans, like, what if players? And he's like, yeah, but I love Arsenal though. I wish I played for Arsenal. He's like, all right, man, relax. Like, he's literally like, be cool, man. You're on a Man United podcast. We're going to talk about Man United. He's like, no, I don't like Man United. I love Arsenal. Almost like he was messing with them, but you could see behind the eyes, this was no Cole Power. This guy was just like not able to read the room. But yeah, like why I mentioned that is because like Jamie Carragher is that kind of player who Everton fan, played for Liverpool, one man, one club, and then afterwards he's kind of like slowly gone back to Everton. I was like, I love Everton actually, you know, but also Liverpool. Like, you know, I have two teams kind of thing, but there are two teams who are rivals. It's just you just never see it, especially a player who's been like, you know, a legend for a world club. But then it's like, yeah, but I do love the rivals though. It's like, like I don't know. He sometimes pops up, like you say, as a spokesman for Everton sometimes. And yeah, for anyone who didn't see it, he said the treatment of Anthony Gordon was disgraceful. Again, you have to put it in the context of the year that those Everton fans were having. They needed this, exactly. You know, they needed something to hate that wasn't themselves.
But also that whole thing of like, oh, you know, you gave you all you could and then you sold him for a lot of money. You know, it's disrespectful to be like this. Has he ever watched football in his life? As soon as a player is gone, they're done. Yeah,
maybe he's just trying to change that culture in football. I don't know. But it's a natural thing. You know, you played for us when we were shite. And let's be honest, when Anthony Gordon moved to Newcastle for 60 million euros, everyone was like, well, they have lost the run themselves with the money. And obviously, money doesn't mean anything anymore. If he's worth 60 million, you know, all these things, we all said them, we all taught them. He's turned into a really good player. I mean, credit to Eddie Howe, who apparently pushed for that move. He was like, I need Anthony Gordon. Like, no one else in the world at that time was saying, I need Anthony Gordon. But he got the move from him, and he's been really good for them. But like, that's extra sickening for you as a supporter.
Yeah, exactly.
To see somebody who played for you was shite, who you suspected wasn't trying hard enough, but didn't have any proof. And then you see him go to a good team and play well. Like, oh, I fucking knew it. You know, so yeah, he goes back. He's getting booed. He should know that. And I'm sure he did, you know, but that is part and parcel of us.
Yeah. I mean, that's as common as it gets. I mean, like, imagine, I'm sure there was actually, now that I think of it, I'm sure there was pundits who were talking about after Declan Rice scored against Ireland being like, oh, it's disgraceful. They're booing this young man.
I don't know. International relations are tricky, Maybe they're like, let's just say nothing. International break be over soon, I don't know. The Anthony Gordon one seems more obvious to me, but who am I to talk about Everton matters?
Yeah,
but yeah, he missed that. Newcastle are kind of languishing a little bit. Just we thought last year was kind of like European hangover. It's a big year for them, It'd be hard for it to be a failure almost, by playing in the Champions League this year. Everything's going to be great. This year, it hasn't really kind of kicked back to where it was 2 years ago,
For a few months there, it felt like, okay, this is the new Man City. They've got the money, they've got the Saudi-backed ownership, and it seemed to be going so smoothly. But I don't know, yes, it seems it's slowed to a bit of a halt, and they had a weird summer where they spent all the money 2 years ago, and then they had to spend this summer just getting lads out the door so they wouldn't get hit with a huge FFP breach.
Yeah.
And I think the two faces of the club, they left all of a sudden as well.
Amanda Staveley and her husband left.
Yeah, just bizarre few months for them, I think.
Yeah, last summer everyone was for sale kind of thing. And people are like, don't you have unlimited money? What's going on? It's And if you knew this was going to happen, why'd you blow your load in the first year to get Champions League only to come bottom of the group and then not qualify for next year and not looking likely to qualify for this year? It's like, well, what was the point of any of this? If only to make Everton fans angry. What have you achieved?
At least we have that.
At least we kicked Everton while they're down. Maybe I don't think it is too hard to tell with Newcastle. I don't think they're going to make it into that top four ahead of Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea.
Yeah, Villa maybe.
Villa, sorry. Again, disrespectful to Villa. I tell you who I don't think it's going to be, Will. Tottenham Hotspur.
No. Did you see Ange Postecoglou's essentially breakdown after the game in his post-match conference?
I know what you're thinking, folks. Ah, yeah, I've seen that one before. He gets kind of snippy. Oh, no.
He was really sad this time.
He had given up. The Spurs have broken him after less than 2 years.
It happens to every single Spurs manager has a press conference like this where it's like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Not frustrated. I'm absolutely gutted with that. That's probably the worst defeat we've had since I've been here. Unacceptable second half. Just saying we weren't anywhere near where we should be. Maybe we just got carried away with how we were going.
Yeah. How do you make sense of that? You mentioned maybe you got carried away. So you feel it was more of a mentality problem today?
Yeah, I think so. In the second half, I just don't think... we kind of accepted our fate, which it's a bit hard to understand because we haven't done that since I've been here. We've usually fought for everything, but when you don't, you pay a price, and we paid the price.
Was it surprising for you, especially because you've been performing very consistently and mentally you've been in the matches throughout the games?
Yeah, as I said, maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe things were travelling along too smoothly, and football and life will trip you up if you get too far ahead of yourself, and that's what it looked like to me in the second half.
And it looked so well because I wasn't watching the game, but I saw it was who was it who scored? I don't know who scored, but Solanke got the assist, and I was like, damn, I had Solanke at the start, and now he's kicking the gears. I mean, he's probably not going to be Harry Kane, but I mean, if they got a striker that's scoring and getting assists, I mean, that's half the battle, 2-0 up half time. Well, it's literally never happened in the Premier League before that they would lose this game. What are the odds that would happen today? Yet here we are talking about Brighton's 3-2 comeback. Well, in theory, right, you're 2-0 up. They come out the second half and they go, right, fuck it. We lose by 2-0, lose by 4-0. Where we are in the table, goal difference is probably not going to matter. So let's just go for it. You get one back. You get two back. At that point, you either sit back and invite them onto you, or you continue forward, you leave gaps, they get one. Now it's 3-2 to them. Then you're in the kind of, will we, won't we? Should we go and get a third? Should we just, forget about it? to go for 3 goals, get them, and then not leave enough gaps for the other team to exploit does kind of point to mental weakness. Because surely the gaps are there. If they're, bombing forward trying to get goals in 45 minutes, and they do, and you don't get one, you don't land a glove back on them, it means that you didn't take the opportunities when they came.
Yeah, and we are pretty harsh on Ange, to be fair to him. But like you could tell after the game, he knew this was a mad one. And like I don't think there's only so much tactics you can, implement in a game, but sometimes you're just gonna concede 3 goals in like 20 minutes.
Well, I did see the screenshots going around of their high line again, and
the high line,
desperately unconvincing hands raised in the air calling for offside, even though you're basically on the halfway, and then just the capture. This is how we play, mate. This is this, mate. Until I'm here, mate.
He's happy-go-lucky most of the time. By God, he is. That is the most miserable I've heard him.
Yeah, I think he's maybe not happy-go-lucky. I think he's a bit sharp and a bit like kind of when I'm talking, it's all good. When you ask me a stupid question, I'm not going to tell you, but you can tell by my face that I think it's a stupid question. I think I remember one of the first things he got, the first press conferences he got, somebody, I think a Munich reporter or a Munich fan showed up with a picture of Harry Kane in a Bayern Munich jersey. And that was insane. I was like, and he's like, "Did you come all the way from Munich to this? You're smart. You're cool." And like since then, that's how he's kind of reacted to everybody. Like, "Oh yeah, good one, mate. Yeah, that's a yeah, no, good one. That makes sense." He's so jokey, but also kind of like, "I'd love to rip your fucking," but I can't, so I won't. But if I could,
I mean, it does make it even madder. His comments last week or 2 weeks ago, they're like, "I always win in my second season."
Oh yeah, well that was a man backed into a corner. He had to say something, kind of.
He had to say something crazy.
He had to put something like convincing on it. Like, I always win my second year, so guess what year this is? It's like, all right, I guess we're going to win some this year. Like you're saying it out. Like, I know we look bad now, but don't worry, because we're definitely going to win, and that gives people hope and confidence. But after this one, I mean, he said this is his worst loss ever as a Spurs manager. And I mean, remember the 4-0? Was it 4-0 against Chelsea at home?
Yeah, like there's been bad results.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they're going to go, because I genuinely thought, like, sorry, I know it was Brennan Johnson. That was part of the reason why I thought, wow, Spurs are actually going to figure this out on Range.
Yeah,
he scored again. Slank got the assist, and they go 2-0 up. Again, it's not like they've lost 5 in a row. It's just losing this, and you are Spurs, and everyone says things about your club and your mentality. Like, I'm talking about how they lost the game. Well, I didn't even watch it. I said that first. I said, I didn't watch the game, but you'd imagine that they had opportunities. I imagine that they balled it. It's like,
in my head.
I didn't see the game, but I could picture it. Like, if you're a Spurs player, that's rattling around your brain now when you're going out for the next game. It's hard to come back from that, We'll see how they get on. We'll see. They have a break now for the national break, and they might just get time to reflect on it, which maybe is a good or a bad thing. I'm not sure. So yeah, speaking of international break, we have another Ireland game.
Yes.
Helsinki and back, Will.
No wonder that we were saying start this episode. I just feel I'm not feeling it this year. Is any wonder when I'm going from Man United to Ireland and international breaks, and then back to Man United and then back to Ireland international breaks? It's a slog.
Imagine if we're actually covering those games. Imagine if you were
oh my God,
an actual football reporter going to Ireland games and Man United games.
My God. A fate worse than death.
Oh, getting paid by the kilometre.
How was it, honey? It was 0-0 again.
Was that the Ireland or the United game? Both. They were both 0-0.
And they're good results.
You should have seen the week before. Yeah, well, that's it. We have we got Welcome to Helsinki, and then we have Welcome to Hellas in Greece. You got a double header, a double of Finland and Greece. We lose to Finland, we're probably going to be bottom of the group. We lose to Greece. To be expected because we already lost to Greece.
Oh yeah, we're losing to Greece. I think that's confirmed. Did you know, Kyle, we are currently 6 rankings away, 6 places above our lowest ever FIFA ranking for the men's national team.
Damn, dude. That's
So this could be the week.
well, after this qualifying tournament, there'll be another reshake of the rankings, I'd imagine. So
Yes.
I think no matter what happens this week, we're going to be dropped down a few spaces. Depends who's below us, how they do. But yeah, it's not looking good for our all-time rankings.
No, and I was thinking this. When the hell were we 6 places worse than we are now?
I mean, I guess
During the Troubles, maybe?
when there was an actual war on the island. Yeah. I mean, I guess probably pre Big Jack, I'd imagine. In the 70s sometimes.
God, it must have been chronic then. I might look up what it was like.
The time in between John Giles retiring and Big Jack taking over was probably a bad time for us. But anyways, we will be doing an episode on the Ireland game. I think it's Thursday, is it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Maybe Thursday, even Friday. Depends what we can do. But yeah, we will do an episode on that this week. And then the Greece game is at the weekend, is it?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so they'll be the 2 main ones for the next 2 episodes. Plus, whatever else happens, there'll be something with Ronaldo, something with Mbappe, something with Haaland maybe this time. Who knows? Haven't heard him much in international break, but surely he's in for some abuse at some point. So yeah, we'll be covering all that this week. Make sure you click the link in the description of this episode to become an Ultra. As the next episode is going to be an Ultra only episode, and then we'll do another episode this time next week for the second Ireland loss. We'll be covering that as well.
We'll be covering that. We could probably record that now.
Yeah, I think Collins was okay. I didn't think Coleman was very good. I don't know if he's the answer right back still. Just copy and paste that and put it in there.
Honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
I think Evan Ferguson needs better ball into him. That's just, we need to get better ball to Ferguson.
You don't know what you're going to get.